Hey everybody, Neil Thompson, founder of Teach the Geek here. I work with technical professionals so they can present more effectively, especially in front of non-technical audiences. And you can learn more about that at teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. Do you find yourself using a whole lot of filler words during presentations? Words like so, like, and just those type of words? If so, that's something you may want to look into. That may be something you want to minimize as much as you can for a couple of reasons. One is that it could be distracting to others if you use too many of them. I've said on this channel before the story of my mother listening to one of my podcast episodes in which the guest used a lot of filler words to the point where she stopped listening. She actually called me to tell me that after about 5 minutes of listening to the episode, she just couldn't take it anymore. The person used way too many times for her liking, and she just stopped listening. And that's so unfortunate for that to happen because that person had a lot to say and a lot of useful things to say during that interview. And if people like my mother are put off by the use of these filler words, well, then that person doesn't get the audience that they deserve, that they want. So that's a main reason to try to minimize it. And then another reason you may want to is that when you minimize the filler words, what it does is it forces you to really think about what you're going to say. I recall being on a panel, and during the question and answer period, when people are asking questions of the panelists, there was one panelist in particular who answered the question right when after the person answered or asked the question. He didn't seem to put a whole lot of thought into the answer he gave. In fact, in some instances, he answered a question that wasn't even asked. But when you do that, you don't actually stop to actually think about the question. Well, now you're just going to say whatever comes top of mind. And then when that happens, the use of filler words is way more likely to happen. So a way to minimize the amount of filler words, at least in my opinion, is to pause instead. Instead of saying so, like, just pause. People aren't as put off by pauses as they are by filler words. If the guest that I had used more pauses when he was answering or when we were having our interview, I suspect my mother wouldn't have been as bothered by them and likely would have gotten through more than 5 minutes of the podcast episode. And then with the panelist, perhaps if he paused to actually think about the question that was asked of him during the panel, maybe he wouldn't have used a whole lot of filler words in his answer. And then maybe he would have answered questions that were actually asked. So that's really what I really want to say during this podcast. Well, during this YouTube channel, what am I trying to say right now? During this short video is that instead of using a whole lot of filler words, which can bother others and minimize the number of people that actually listen to what you're saying, pause instead. People aren't as put off by it, and it gives you more time to think about what you're going to say too. An added bonus. Hopefully, that's been helpful. Again, my name is Neil Thompson. I'm the founder of Teach the Geek. I work with technical professionals so they can present more effectively, especially in front of non-technical audiences. And you can learn more about that at teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. Until next time, take care and stay safe.